decided to bite the bullet and buy my first bit of Z glass to go with the Z7. And what I've decided is to go with the 14-30 f4. A number of reasons for that, really. So I've already got a 2.8 24-70 and a 2.8 70-200, and to replace those with Z glass would cost me, I don't know, 4 or 5 grand, something like that. So this lens is a lot less than that. Plus, it also fits into the gap, I suppose, because I have never really had a super wide angle lens before, so this will fit, you know, right at that bottom range. And to be honest, it's packaged. So I've weighed the two together. So I've weighed the Z7 with the L bracket and the 14-30 lens on it, and it's 1.2 kilograms, which is brilliant, really. I mean, I know it's got less glass than the 2.8, which is why it's a lot lighter. So anyway, today I brought it out for a test run, and it's the only thing I've got in my bag. So the only lens I've got in my bag. In my head, there are 3 reasons why you'd want a really wide angle lens. And I guess one is to get as much as possible in, so a vista, if you like, without having to do a panorama. Second thing I can think of is if you're sat in a really tight situation, you're trying to photograph a waterfall, for example, and you get as much as you can in with that lens. But the thing I really bought it for is to do foreground emphasis with stuff in the background. So for those of you who are sticking to my channel or subscribe to my channel, I've got a trip to Northumberland coming up. Northumberland is very well known for castles, lighthouses and beautiful quiet beaches, so I'm going to go up there, and the thought was to get, you know, those prominent foreground features with a castle in the background or a lighthouse in the background or something like that. So that's the plan. To afford the lens, I've had to spend quite some time on eBay selling my old camera as well, so my own D750. So. Right, stick with me while I wander around today and try and find some compositions. I don't think they're going to be bangers, as some people would say, because the weather is just odd. It's raining, it's blowing, and then it's sunny, and then it's cloudy. So it's a bit of everything. Anyway, stick with me. So as a first test subject, I came across this stump, and as I said, today I'm going to try and get prominent foreground imagery. So this stump is fairly prominent. It's not lit, which is not ideal, but the background's all lit, and there's nice dapple sunlight coming through. So I'm going to try that when I get home. So obviously this is all new ground for me, so this may be bollocks. Anyway, we'll see. So I really am experimenting today, but it's just looking for areas where I can get the camera down close and it's of some interest. So I've got a really gnarly old tree. I'll show you in a minute. And it's only probably about a foot and a half away from the front of the camera lens. You have got to be really careful, because when I was trying to get the camera down low, obviously I extended the tripod legs, and then when I looked through the viewfinder at 14mm, the tripod leg is actually in the frame. So yeah, you got to be really careful. And I think experimentation is a good thing for photography. So I'm not going to apologise if these photographs don't turn out to be, you know, the best in my portfolio. But it's all experimentation. But for this one, I've got down really close to all the vines running up the fallen tree, coming in from the left-hand side, and then it's resting on a branch, and that's coming in from the right-hand side. So I don't know. Anyway, just experiment and see what happens. I'll put it up here. because the extreme proximity of the subjects that I'm photographing today, all my images will be 3 photographs stacked together. So one really close up, one in the middle, and one as far out as I can get it. Yeah, what I quickly figured out as well is if you put the tripod such that the front 2 legs are like that, then you've got no chance of the front leg being in the frame. So that's a tip to myself, and I guess a tip for you, really. So I guess one of the things you've not got to do when you've got a wide angle lens is include too much, so that when you create the image, people don't know where to look, and that's exactly what I've got here. So I had it on 14 mils, and you're getting everything in, and if you just zoom in to 30, you can actually get a frame made by the trees, and then when the sun comes out, and lights the path up, and that's the time to take your shot. But zoomed into 30 mil rather than 14. So that's at 40, and there's an awful lot in there, but if you just zoom it in, then you can get those 2 trees on either side, creating a frame, if you like, and then the path runs up the middle. Thankfully someone's dog ran past, and I took a shot of the dog as it stood still, because it's quite dark, and it was, I don't know, about a third of a second. So sometimes I will put my tripod in the most precarious of places. I'm hovering with my hand just in case it slips, but it's about a second exposure, so I can't even take it handheld, so it's sort of propped 3-legged anyway. So this is a different kind of image from the ones I've taken today, and this using this fallen branch as the lead in, really, to those branches in the background. It might be a little bit busy, and I might have to do some work in Photoshop, but that's the idea anyway. Really is the strangest of days today. I find a composition, set the camera up, and then it starts raining, and then you're just about to go, and then the sun comes out. So the idea with this one is to get all of these roots as the lead in, and then hopefully get a bit of bright light in the background. But that's the challenge rather than the composition. It ceases to amaze me, the things you see and the things you find when you're out photographing. So anyway, somebody put them in a nice place. They're not mine, so I use them as a subject. Let's see how that comes out.
Light me up, don't you stop, 'cause tonight it's on the line. Show me how you get on down, close my eyes, take me for a ride. Ooh.
There was another experimental composition. I've got these thistles. I mean, they're probably past their sell-by date now, but there's thistles in the foreground with the view from Cooper's Hill here behind me of Cheltenham. And there's some really nice bushy clouds as well, so hopefully we've got sorry, I'm just watching the bees. We've got interesting foreground and then the clouds in the background as well.
Got to be you. So come and light me up. I still need your fire, baby. I still want you by my side. Light me up. Let me touch the flame now, baby. I'm your phoenix tonight. Come on and rise. Come on and rise. Come on and rise. Light me up. Can't get enough. Take your time. Just do it right. We will rise.
So for those of you who aren't familiar with this area, this is Cooper's Hill, and that hill down there is a famous hill, cheese rollers hill, where people hurl themselves down chasing a, I don't know what size it is, £5 roll of cheese or whatever, trying to beat it to the bottom. Rather them than me anyway, but there you go.
Come and light me up. I still need your fire, baby. I still want you by my side. Light me up. Let me touch the flame now, baby. I'm your phoenix tonight. Come on and rise. So come on and rise. Come on and rise.
So I turned around then and there were 20 people behind me. I was like, oh, shit. Anyway, they asked me to take a selfie for them. Not that it's a selfie as I took it anyway, but I quite often get asked to take people's photographs. I don't know why people think because I've got the gear, I'm a professional. Anyway, no problem. If you ever see me and you want me to take your photo, just ask, 'cause I really don't mind. Right, I think that's me done really. Seems to be quite dark now, and there are fewer and fewer patches of sunlight. So anyway, that was supposed to be a trial with this 14 to 30 Z lens, and really light to carry, really easy to use, and from what I've seen, it's pin sharp as well. So of course I've photo stacked. Oh god! And of course I've stacked 2 or 3 images for every shot, so it should be pin sharp anyway. So if you like this, stay with me, because remember I am going to Northumberland in a couple of weeks, and that should be 2 or 3 different videos come out of the back of that hopefully. So waterfalls, castles, beaches, seas, anything I can find really. Hadrian's Wall. If you did like, please comment, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.